Wish you all a pleasant morning. I'm Nandana in chemistry. It's my immense pleasure to extend cheerful and hearty welcome to one and all gathered here for the session on Plastic Pollution and Planet Protection to celebrate the National Pollution Control Day. Every morning brings us new thoughts, new books, new strength, and countless possibilities. Let's begin this morning with a prayer. I welcome Ms. Nimita Jason for the prayer song. Nimita,
Prayer. Swami Jai Jai Bhakt Janam Ke Das Janam Ke Shanami Swami Tum
Nimita, your voice is breaking.
Can you hear?
Yeah, now it is okay. But during the prayer song, your voice is breaking.
Should I start once more, ma'am?
Yeah, ma. Few lines, please.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Swami Jai Jai Bhakt Janam Ke Sangad Das Janam Ke Sangad Jagadish Hare Tum Tum Swadam Bhaktarayani Parabrahma Parameshwara Parabrahma Parameshwara Tum Sarve Swami Jai Jagadish Hare Jagadish Hare. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome Dr. M.S. Shivaram Kumar sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, to deliver the welcome address. Sir, please, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good morning, all. It's a glorious moment to extend my warm wish to all for the Plastic Pollution and the Planet Protection Program organized by KASC, Institution Innovation Council and the Department of Chemistry, undergraduate and postgraduate, in connection with to celebrate the National Pollution Control Day. First of all, I convey my heartfelt gratitude to our President, Dr. M. Archam, sir, for permitting us to organize this program. Equally, I thank our vibrant, dynamic Secretary and Director, Dr. C.A. Vasgi Madam, Syndicate Member of Barnard University, Convener, Indian Science Association, Coimbatore Chapter, for permitting to organize this event. It gives me it gives me immense pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to Chairman, Institution Innovation Council and Principal of KESC, Dr. M. Lakshmanasamy sir. I welcome Dr. M. Dhanam Madam, Principal in charge and Head of Physics Department. Welcome you, ma'am. I am glad to welcome Dr. S.R. Madan Sankar sir, President, Institution Innovation Council and Dean Academics. Welcome you, sir. I would like to welcome Dr. G. Dandapani, Sir, Convener Institution Innovation Council for this program. I am happy to welcome our chief guest and guest of honor, Engineer Nalini Krishnasamy, ME, Environmental Engineer, Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, Tamil Nadu, who is going to address the session. Welcome you, ma'am. I want to say something regarding National Pollution Control Day. As per the National Health Portal of India, around 7 million people across the world die due to air pollution every year. The day is celebrated every year on 2nd December to bring awareness about the dangers caused due to land, polluted water and air. Environmental pollution affects the quality of life and health. National Pollution Control Day is observed in the memory of those who have lost their lives in the Bhopal gas tragedy on 2nd December 1984. Nowadays, the problem of pollution is increasing day by day, and it is the duty of the people to reduce the level of pollution. We should generate ideas and plans to control pollution. The main objective of National Pollution Control Day is to make people spread awareness in the industries that cause various pollution like water, air, soil, noise, and affect the environment and obviously health. We can't forget the Bhopal gas tragedy in leakage of poisonous gas MIC, that is methyl isocyanate, is the worst tragedy happened in the world so far. The government of India had make various laws to combat pollution, like in Delhi, decrease vehicles running on the road, implemented and even rule. National Pollution Control NPCB, main governing body at the union level and at state level Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board that regularly conducts on industries to know whether they are following environmental regularities or not. Finally, I welcome organizing space of this program Dr. K. Swaminathan sir, Dr. E. Jayanti madam, Dr. E. Pushpavini madam, Dr. K. Chandraprakash sir, and Dr. G. Vadivelan sir. Finally, I welcome all participants once again. Thank you all. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
Thank you,
for
ma'am.
your valuable words.
Thank you. Thank you.
It gives me immense pleasure to welcome our beloved principal in charge, Dr. M. Dhanam ma'am, to give the presidential address. Please, ma'am.
Pleasant morning to everyone joined here. On behalf of Kongunadu Arts and Science College, I take immense pleasure in welcoming Engineer Nalini Krishnasamy, Environmental Engineer, Tamil Nadu Pollution Control, who has joined us to celebrate the National Pollution Control Day. Welcome, ma'am. At this juncture, I want to congratulate the President of Institution Council, Dr. S.R. Madan Sankar, Convener Dr. G. Dandapani, and each and every member of KASC Institution Innovation Council for their contribution. Actually, they have, because of their contribution and dedication, we have achieved star status for the annual performance among 95 institutions with the motivation of our congratulate the KASC IIS team once again. And I also congratulate KIIS and UG and PG Department of Chemistry who has organized this session on plastic pollution and planet protection to celebrate the National Pollution Control Day. As population increases, pollution also increases proportionately. Plastic is very convenient, user-friendly, and cost-effective material, and therefore, lots of plastic is produced. Around 275 million tons of plastic waste is generated each year around the world. Plastic is non-biodegradable and therefore it is one of the most dangerous pollutants in the nature. Ocean contains 70% of the plastic waste. Tons of plastic materials are dumped into rivers, lakes, and ocean. These plastics does not dissolve in water. It floats or spill down on the surface. This way, water gets polluted. These plastics can be mistaken as food by fishes and other sea living creatures. Tons of plastics are dumped on land as well. Soil gets polluted. That is one problem. The plastic dam act as the gathering ground of disease spreading insects. The health of the people around gets affected. This is the another problem. Cows and other animals eat plastic bags in the garbage and they die. On burning, it releases nitrogen oxide and sulfur dioxide. Plastic react with hot food items and contaminate the food. Plastic remains in the soil for 1,000 years and make it more poisonous. So the plastic pollution is very dangerous, and how to protect planet, that is the topic. Our resource person will highlight all these topics in a wonderful way. We should not use plastic any form. We have to move for alternatives. We should shop wisely, buy less plastic, and shop with reusable shopping bags. Awareness should be created to others. 3 R's may be followed to protect planets. The first R is to reduce the plastic. The second R is to reuse the plastic. And R is to recycle the plastic. So, action, I conclude my topic. I thank the organizer for inviting me to deliver the presidential address. Thank you once again.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I request Dr. S.R. Madan Shankar, sir, President KASC, IIC, and Dean Academics, to offer the felicitation. Please, sir.
Good morning to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Good morning to all of you. And at the outset, I'm happy to felicitate organized by the Institutional Innovation Council on commemorating the National Pollution Day, particularly to circumvent the use of plastics. At the outset, Madam Principal in charge, Dana Madam, had given an elaborate account on the positives and also the negatives about how to conserve, how to reduce, reuse, and recycle, and also the ill effects of plastics. And we all know that plastics have become an inevitable part of our life. Take from your toothbrush till your writing pen, your refills, everything is made up of one-time throw plastic or one-time usage plastic. And these plastics, when they are thrown into the environment, they create a lot of hassle to living beings, particularly to cattle, several even humans per se. Now, when you look into the Sustainable Development Goals, which was brought in the year 2015, several goals address this pivotal issue of how to circumvent the use of plastics and how to create a clean and green environment for the future. For example, if you look into the Sustainable Development Goal number 13, which talks about climate action, and climate action is one of the most pressing issues which we are facing today. Life below water is again another important aspect of the Sustainable Development Goal 14. Life on land is goal number 15. And if you look into development of smart cities, development of sustainable cities and communities is also Sustainable Development Goal 11. And also when you look into industrial development and innovation is also one Sustainable Development Goal. So when you look into all the Sustainable Development Goals, what we come to understand is that passing on a cleaner and greener environment to the next generation is very, very important. And all these have been emphasized very particularly in the Sustainable Development Goals. So the idea of organizing such programs through the Institutional Innovation Council is to sensitize the young individuals is to sensitize the next generation, because students, you are generation, and whatever you reuse or you use all these are because of unwarranted usage of our resources, particularly misuse of what earth has given us, and there is a complete break between the balance in the ecosystem. And this, when you look into the ocean, you can see a lot of reports which talks about ocean pollution getting contaminated with plastic that has been dumped. Even this micron plastic that we use as paper carry bags are also really dangerous, because they take several number of years for complete degradation. So these are the pressing issues. Unless and otherwise our students are sensitized, unless and otherwise you people are sensitized, you will never be able to pass a cleaner and greener environment to your next generation. And please understand that the massive usage of plastics, right from feeding bottle till your day-to-day water bottles, everything are very, very dangerous. We have moved away from all conventional patterns, and we have moved into a comfort zone of convenience. And this comfort zone of convenience has created a lot of the lifestyle disorders, particularly in women: polycystic ovarian syndrome, unprecedented cancers, heart ailments, lifestyle disorders like increased blood pressure for very young individuals. Thyroid is again a very common thing that is seen in everybody. Similarly, vitamin D deficiency is also another important clinical condition which is on the rise. So please understand that all these lifestyle effects, all these disorders are only because of high misuse of our resources, which is provided by our Mother Earth. So on this day, I urge all the participants to very eagerly listen to our erudite resource person, Dr. Nalini, and take well defined and well crafted messages to your home, and please pass on this message to your neighbors and also to your peers and your counterparts, so that we will at least be sensitive enough to use the resources prudently and use the resources effectively without hampering the environment anymore. I congratulate the entire team of faculty members, particularly Dr. Jayanti from the Institution Innovation Council, for organizing this wonderful program. And I wish the program a grand success. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for your words, sir. I would like to call upon Dr. E. Jayanti, ma'am, Assistant
Thank you, madam.
Professor,
Thank you.
Department of Chemistry, KASC, to introduce our Chief Guest of the Day, Mrs. Nalini Krishnasamy, ma'am.
Thank you, ma. Good morning, all. Thank you, KASC IIC, opportunity. Mrs. K. Nalini completed BE Civil Engineering in Tyagarajar College of Engineering, Madurai, and completed ME Environmental Engineering in GCT, Coimbatore, pursuing research on e-waste in NIT Trichy. She served as various capacities in Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board for over 30 years across the state in monitoring of pollution, formation of industrial clusters for foundries and electroplating in Coimbatore, implementing cleaner production technology in foundries, electroplating zero liquid discharge in textile dyeing industries, etc. Her contribution to academic part is great. She served as board of member in Anna University and framed elective on environmental legislation in industries, which was approved in GCT Government Technology Coimbatore. She served as external project guide for Government College of Technology and Park Engineering College. She has delivered number of lectures as invited speaker in educational institutions, IIT Madras, NIT Trichy, various engineering institutions, and with the international institution in Canada, Confederation of Indian Industry. She is working with the Industrial Association and Urban Local Bonding, that is to protect sustainable uh, solid waste management. Her area of interest is eco-industrial park, e-waste, biomedical waste. Such an eminent we have here today, even in the middle of accumulated work on her table, she readily accepted to deliver lecture. Thank you, ma'am. On behalf of Principal in charge Dr. M. Dana, ma'am, President KASC IIC Dr. Madan Shankar sir, Convener KASC IIC Dr. Danapani sir, all the members of IIC, Department of Chemistry, aided, unaided, and on my own behalf, welcome Mrs. K. Nalini to deliver her lecture. The session is yours, ma'am. Please take over the session. We are all awaiting to hear your enlightening lecture. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Respected dignitaries and distinguished participants, good morning to all. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It is a great pleasure for me to join with you all. The occasion of National Pollution Control Day is being celebrated all over the country in India to remember the people who have lost their lives during the environmental accident. It was happened in fertilizer industry that is called Union Carbides, which was located in the state Madhya Pradesh, in the city of Bhopal city. The incident happened during the midnight of December 3 and 4, early morning of December 3rd and midnight of December 2nd. People could not even realize what was happening just around us, around the environment. They did not do anything. The gas called as methyl isocyanate gas, which is very poisonous, which was let into the atmosphere. It was spread around the streets and on the bridges. A lot of people who slept in their houses, who were walking on the roads, bridges, who were driving their vehicles on the road, all of the people suddenly lost their lives, fell down on the floor. A lot of animals and children and so many adult persons also died in this environmental accident. It was happened due to the factory. This factory was established in the year 1969, but it was stopped slowly due to the market demand was reduced. And during the year to the 1980, totally the production was stopped, and machineries and all the control measures were also were put in a lot of distracted stages. So without the proper maintenance and repair, and without the proper training of the personnel, and without being conducting the environmental audit, was one of the reasons it was identified during the incident. And to remember the people who has lost their life during this incident, the government of India has announced this day as a very important day to celebrate all over India. And every state control board has initiated the action to create the awareness among the people, to educate them what is happening surrounding their environment, what was happening, how they are leading their lives, how their environment is being protected, how they are contributing to protect the environment for their future generations. So many things have to be educated to the people. So during this celebration of this day, a lot of awareness programs in various medias, a lot of competitions, a lot of awareness in and radios, and even speeches among the educational institutions, all are happening. Apart from the government of India has enacted an act which is known as Environmental Protection Act. In order to protect the people, their lives and their environment, the government has realized after that incident, such type of incident should not be happened. People who are responsible, who are occupied of those hazardous chemical manufacturing industries, they are responsible. They have to take proactive actions to help the workers who are working in the industries, as the people who are living adjoining environment. On the whole, there should be a protected manufacturing process is happening in the industries. This Environmental Protection Act is an umbrella act to protect the lives of people who are living in the environment, and to protect the and to regularize those industries who are all manufacturing such hazardous chemicals and also handling such hazardous materials. The important one is the inspection standards and control over hazardous substances, and personal responsibility from corporations having put on the occupier the responsibility on the occupier.
Sorry
Yes.
to disturb you, ma'am. Is there any PPT, ma'am?
Yes,
But it's not visible.
I see. Let me.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. Please present your PPT. Presenting, ma'am.
Yes.
Slides are not visible. Presenting.
Slides are visible.
Now it is in the PT mode. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now it is.
Sorry.
It's
I
okay.
forgot to the button, share button.
Okay.
So I went to my PT and then started talking.
Thank you.
This is the state called Madhya Pradesh. Bhopal city is located, and this kind of industry is called Union Carbide industry. It was an American-based industry, and at the time there were no environmental to catch hold of industry owner is responsible for making such an accident, and the people affected people should also be given compensation, and there should be immediate relief should be given to people who are all affected by this incident. So the Environmental Protection Act was enacted in the 1986. It was an act. Previously we were having pollution control and the air polluting industries all over India. But the act is a very specialized one. After this incident was happened, because the government of India has realized to catch hold the who is responsible for this incident. Case was initiated against occupier of the industry, and after that we have government of India has published another act such as called hazardous waste rules. This Environmental Protection Act is called as an umbrella act. It is having a lot of powers to give punishment, to regulate the industries and regulate the occupier of the industries, regulate the person. Individual person can approach the court to say this kind of industry is polluting in a nearby area, and they can get they can complain to the government as well. So such kind of proactive measures can be taken according to this act. Under this act, a number of rules have been framed after that. After the every year, around 22 rules have been enacted under this Environmental Protection Act, and all those rules are very powerful, very protective to the people's health and their adjoining. And one such rule is the hazardous rule. After this, in the year 1989, according to this rule, all the industries who are all using hazardous chemicals as raw material in this, and who are all generating hazardous waste from their manufacturing process, they have to get a permission from the concerned state governments, and they have to submit the reports how much quantity of chemical is used in their industry, how much quantity of chemical is being given license. So with the more the quantity of material will be the license quantity, the entire one is, and the industries who are all manufacturing this chemicals should also get insurance for the people who are all working in the industry. So this act is called Public Liability Insurance Act. This act, under the act, this in every industry, before getting license and before starting their operation, they have to take insurance against a number of workers working in the industry. And also this kind of insurance is based upon the investment of the industries. It is started from the amount of 5 crores, maximum amount of 5 crores, and this fund is also being utilized as a environmental relief fund, and it is used in the emergency period also. So we should know what is happening around our environment, and people are in the world. We all know that lot of digital technology has come, and lot of job opportunities also been increased. People income have also been increased. So the people who want jobs in the urban environment, they are migrating from the villages. They go to the urban and cities nearby. So ultimately, the industries are increasing. A number of vehicles are right from the 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, and 4-wheelers, and heavy vehicles, and even airplanes are also increasing. So ultimately, at the end of the day, the lot of gaseous emissions from the industrial processes, and lot of emissions from the vehicular emissions, and also the equally the lifestyle of the people have been also been increased. Due to this, everyone is changing their lifestyle. The use and throw culture is also being attached to their lives. We can't really refuse. How many of us ask the coffee shops not to give a straw or the plastic cups? When we go to the hotels, how many of us ask the persons not to give plastic forks and spoons when we order the food online? During the corona period, we also order food online. So we will get a different boxes full of food, and also plastic forks and spoons and knives. So all are one-time use of plastics. And how many of, when we go to the shopping malls, when we go to the grocery stores, how many of us take our own cloth bags? And how many of us refuse to take the plastic bags when we go out for shopping? This is the present scenario. We use a lot of plastic forks, plastic spoons, and plastic knives. These are all plastic straws, plastic tumblers, plastic cups, plastic bottles, and earbuds. And daily we are using the pens, plastic pens. These are all made up of plastic pens, and diapers, sanitary napkins, and tablet strips, and cereal packets, biscuit packets, shampoo packets, multi-layered small shampoo packets. You go to the shop and get the bread packets, and we get some small sachets, and even the noodles packet. All are made up of multi-layered plastics. This plastics is not only made up of single layer of plastics. And also it has been coated with aluminum, paper, and plastic coats. So many chemicals have been attached to this to manufacture such type of multi-layer plastics. These are the things during daily lifestyle we are using all cool drinks, and we use CDs. At the end of the day, everything is either go to the landfill or being thrown on the waterways. So their journey is floating on the waterways or burning at the landfill. So ultimately, what will happen? Our life has been put under risk. Plastic is a friend. We know. We all know. We take water bottles when we go out of stations. We get tablets, headache tablets. It is also made up of plastics. We take pens, 2 or 3 pens with us. It is made up of plastics. Biscuit packets, it's also made up of plastics. And all is not separable from our part of life. Plastic is a friend to us, but when it becomes enemy to us, when we improperly dispose it and improperly segregate and dispose it on land and the ways, it gives a lot of emissions. We all know that plastic is made up of hydrocarbons. It's a synthetic polymer. Fuels. It was invented from the year 85. The journey is increasing number of things invented day to day and year to year. It's valuable and lightweight, transparent and unbreakable. That's why we are using. But we should not forget it. It is not biodegradable. Like we get banana leaf for our house, but after 1 or 2 days, it will become dry and it will become roasted. It will become biodegradable. But in the case of plastic rolls, plastic packets, see, we can when we keep it, we keep the table on the cupboard for in the dustbin. It will not degrade for so many days. It will be accumulated. More quantity of plastic bags have been accumulated. It is disposed on the land. It will give problems to us. This data will make you think twice before using plastic. Every year in the world, 400 million tons of plastic are produced, out of which at least 8 million tons of plastic end up in the oceans. And over the world, 500 million number of one-time use and throw plastic bags have been produced and used. So India alone, we consumed 17.8 million tons of plastic in 2019, and after 4 years, 2021, the amount will be triple-fold. It's not refusable. You should understand this. There are so many number of plastic types are made in the laboratory or in the industry. Particularly, we use 6 type of plastics. When we buy the water bottles, under this PET will be written like that. And when we buy some milk packets, this has TPE, and cables and pipes are made up of polyvinyl chloride. It is also a very dangerous one. LDP is made up. LDP is used in the manufacture of carry bags, small thin films for used for packagings, and polypropylene is used for medicine bottles and cereal granules and packaging films also. And polystyrene is used for, it's like a foam packaging, and teacups. It was completely banned or not willing to use the teacup of polystyrene, white color polystyrene nowadays, and even ice cream cups are not at all used anywhere else except the plastic cups and paper cups coated with some waxes. People say that shopkeepers say that it is the paper cups are coated with vegetable wax, but it's not so, and it's not there. There is no marking and label or attached in this paper cups or paper plates. which are coated with waxes. We should not use these paper cups coated with some waxes by the direct claiming of the simple claiming of the shopkeepers. It is a vegetable food. So these 6 type of plastics are we can reuse it, but this one thermostat plastic, thick plastics, and multi-layer and laminated plastics. When we go to the grocery stores, we buy some shampoo packets, small shampoo packets priced about 10 rupees and 20 rupees, and sauce packets, and some noodles and masala packets. All are small masala packets are coming in the small multi-layer packets, thousands and millions of millions of plastics, multi-layer, small multi-layer packets being put on the market. That is creating much more problem, because these MLP, multi-layer laminated plastics, could not be recycled, so they should be incinerated. And when compared to the collection of water bottle with the multi-layer packets, these water bottles get attracted by the scrap dealers who are all collecting this plastic waste, but they leave this multi-layer small plastics. And even our tendencies, once we use the multi-layer plastic packets, we usually throw it on the mixed waste dustbin. Our tendency is not to segregate it properly and not to hand over to the disposal persons. We can say that this kind of one plastic 1 and plastic 2 HDPE polyethylene tetraphthalate, which is used in manufacture of plastic bottles, soft drinks, cooking oil, it can be reused. When compared to the water bottles, we buy the oils, cooking oil like coconut oil or some other cooking oils. We after getting the oil, we throw the plastic packets into the dustbin, and finally it is thrown into the dump yard along with the mixed waste. That is happening in everywhere in developing countries. And high density polythene, this is also used for milk containers and shampoo bottles. This is also be and throw it away. We are not reusing it. And polyethylene also happen. It is not often recyclable, and CDPs cannot be recyclable. And propylene, polystyrene, we all see that egg trays are made up of polystyrene, and cutlery, these kind of material have less calorific value, and they cannot be incinerated, cannot even be shredded and made into pellets compared to the plastic materials like buckets and mats and bowls and cutleries, plastic things. They can be shredded and then made into pellets, and then they can be reused in the manufacturing process, blow mold, injection. Plastic waste generated in per day in these cities, and Maharashtra state stood first, and our Tamil Nadu stood third. It was generating 1,50,323 tons of plastic waste was generated in the year 2015, according to the study by the Central Pollution Control Board. But now this in Tamil Nadu, this year, during the year 2020 to 21, the total plastic waste was generated around 4.3 lakhs tons per year. See, during the year 2015, it was around 1.5 to 1.9 lakhs tons per year. It has been increased 4 times. The plastic waste generation has been increased four times within the span of 6 years. The total waste has been collected by the urban local body, and the quantity is around 4.114 lakhs. And the recycled plastic, which is being used for road construction and for other purposes, making pellets and other products like tiles, plastic tiles, and plastic furnitures, and they'll injection molded parts, automobile spare parts, and some other plastic containers, chemical containers, and they have been recycled. And this quantities come around 2.95 lakh tons, and 71,200 tons of plastic waste was incinerated in the cement plants as a fuel. This kind of disposal methods have been recommended by the Central Pollution Control Board. So this is the life cycle stages of the plastics. During the manufacture also, some toxic byproducts has been released, either in the form of air, or either in the form of cut pieces, or in the form of byproducts. Then during the use of the plastic, it is also lot of chemicals are leaching and enter into the human food chain. When we know about, we go to the spar market, we go to the big bazaar, we see a lot of colorful plastic containers, colorful, attractive, eye-catching lunch boxes, bottles are being displayed in plastic section. It is this kind of plastic containers and plastic lunch boxes, whatever the plastic bowls, plastic tumblers, all are very friendly to us, unless otherwise some heating material is kept on inside the bowls. So we order the food online. We order to biryani and chicken and some vegetable things and some other hot materials online through Swiggy. We can observe that. Please observe that a lot of it is all the materials are coming in the boxes, black color boxes with a colorless lid, transparent lid. So this kind, this kind of black material container is having hot biryani, hot food materials, hot sambar, idli, dosa, and everything is kept on this inside the chemicals. And we do not know whether this kind of boxes have been or recycled, made up of recycled plastics or a virgin plastics. The question is one. If it is made up of virgin plastic, this is a lot of chemicals also being there. We know the chemistry of the plastics. It is made up of either the hydrocarbons or benzene rings or the methyl rings. These two kind of plastics are made up of methyl polymers or benzene polymers. And we know the consequences, bad consequences of the methyl polymers and benzene rings. When the heated hot food is kept inside the plastic containers, the chemicals on the surface level also be melted, and it is also mixed with the food. So the food is carrying these chemicals and enter into the stomach of the persons who are eating. Ultimately, they'll get all kind of even the DNA. It has been researched that the DNA has also been modified, and they'll get a lot of skin problems, kidney problems, and nervous problems, and also fertility problems and carcinogenic problems. Or this kind of we see that black color container is in the market. They are using the food packaging material, and on the other hand, and behind the scene, we do not know what is this kind of materials, origin of this material. You know, one thing, lot of chemicals, lot of hazardous chemicals, a lot of hazardous fluids, liquids are all stored in plastic containers. Those containers to the recyclers. And finally, the recyclers get these materials on the plastic containers. They do not know behind the chemistry behind those containers, because they are not much illiterated. They are called as unorganized recyclers. They get all those materials behind the yard of the factories just to dispose the plastic containers. Thousands of containers, hazardous waste, hazardous chemicals bearing, make hazardous oil storing containers. After empty containers have been sold to the recyclers, they buy the containers, empty containers, they break it and shred it and make pellets and give it to the, these pellets, they give it to the plastic container manufacturers. So from the recyclers, from these unorganized recyclers, the plastic pellets, either in the pure virgin or we do not know whether the pellets are virgin or recycled pellets. But the industry persons who are manufacturing these containers, they are also very particular about the price details. Once the price is less, they immediately buy it and then make the containers. We get the containers in the form of flower pots, or in the form of lunch boxes, or in the form of food containers. And the persons who are using these containers in the hotels, restaurants, they do not even know, because no markings, no labeling is put on the containers, whether it is from recycled, from virgin plastics. So ultimately, the chemicals, and once the hot food is kept inside the boxes, the chemicals and the surfaces get attached to that food, and it is taken away into the stomach and enter into the human food chain, and in the mother's milk and the baby's baby's body, and everything is gets distracted. And this is the plastic journey of the other end of the other side of the plastic during the usage, during the consumption stage. And the third one is the disposal of the plastics. When we throw the single-use plastics on the land, it is end up in the landfills, and somebody is burning, firing it. A lot of smoke and poisonous gases in the form of the lot of poisonous gases like dioxin and hydrocarbons, a lot of hydrocarbons, and additives and colors or colorants are also used, and the containers also having chemicals are also released into the lot of heavy metals also being included in during the process of various containers. So ultimately, lot of heavy metals, a lot of gaseous chemicals also being let into the atmosphere, which is affecting the people living in the environment. So when we use the plastic, we should refuse the single use of plastic, because this kind of use and throw culture is increasing among the people. This is one of the example of single use plastics. Single plastic trays is they are used with the packing of the vegetables and fruits with a small thin film of plastic cover. Once we use it and packing it, remove the packing, we buy 5 to 10 packets, and then we use it, store the inside the refrigerator, we use it and throw it away. Once it is thrown away, it will be out of sight and out of mind. What is happening? We should remember that during the year 2015, entire Chennai city was flooded. The flood was entered into the third floor, up to the third floor of the apartments. People could not live. Even so many people in our office also living in the second floor went to the third or fourth floors. Left all the materials in the second floors. So that kind of flooding was affected during this 2015 rainy season. Just the major reason was told the improper disposal of the plastic, one-time use of plastic bags and plastic things which are choked in the drains, which were which blocked the movement of the water in smooth movement of the water along the drain. And also the same thing is also happening during this year. After 6 years, in 2021, the same thing is being repeated, and everywhere in Chennai and other cities have been flooded due to this use of this. So we are speaking, we are talking, and conversing, but single-use plastic is to be avoided. When we throw the single-use plastic bags with the food items, the cow, animals, and all the birds are eating, and they get choked in the throat, and ultimately they die. This is, I also see this thinking green color mountain, but it is not so. There's a mountain of garbage, mixed garbage that has been dumped in the city yard. The single-use plastic, we are talking about the single-use plastics, and the thing is every day we are using the cotton bags. The cotton bags, once we use the cotton bags, it is made up of plastic sticks. Once we use it and throw it away, and because it is a lightweight, it is even the flushing tank and the rivers, it is taken to the drains, and then we go to the rivers. At the end, it is end up in the oceans. A lot of lightweight plastic materials, either in also the plastic pen, plastic pen also being taken away by the stream of water in the river, and ultimately all these materials end up in the oceans. See this lot of one-time use of carry bags, small simple carry bags, thin carry bags, and small bags and small lightweight particles. All these small particles are nothing but fragmented and decayed plastic, not decayed, fragmented and fragmented plastic particles which are end up in the ocean, and made the plastic the water as plastic soup. What happened is all the fishes, small fishes, drink this plastic soup, and all the small fishes have been eaten up by the and all the large fishes having their stomach full of, body full of plastic soup. They are also entering our beautiful houses and also good stomach. And these stomachs also been affected due to the affected fishes. So the plastic can kill the animals and birds. It is also ingested by the birds and animals, and it is even small channel. It's getting find their way and into the ocean. And in the year in Bihar state, in the Patna city, a veterinary college, the doctors removed 80 kg of polythene waste from a cow's stomach after a 3 hours operation. It's not new nowadays. We can hear a lot of such things happening around each and every state. And our Tamil Nadu state is not also an exemption. We also hear that 50 to 70 kg of plastic waste was removed from our elephant's stomach in Nilgiris. People go to the hill station and throw away single-use plastics. They use the plastics, plastic water bottle, plastic bags, and plastic covers, plastic spoons, and each and every plastics, and they throw it on the hillside. And ultimately, the animals and birds come and take them as a food and end up into the stomachs. So there are a lot of incidents are happening nowadays. Because 8.3 billion tons of virgin plastic has been produced all over the world. By the end of 2050 year, there will be more plastic than fish in the ocean, because already we seen that the oceans occupy 72% of Earth's surface. So 72% of Earth's surface, the water occupies more plastics than the fish in the ocean. So our aquatic ecological system will also be affected. We use disposable diapers, napkins, and milk cartons, rubber, aluminium, and beverage cans and plastic bags. And compared to all those things, these plastic bags takes 1,000 years to decompose. This plastic bottle takes 1,000 years to decompose it. Instead, people are willing. People use the nowadays in order to have hygienic things, hygienic materials. They use the plastic bottles, and because of the size and shape of the plastic bottles, because of the branded companies they manufacture and use these plastic bottles, they go and they put so many mechanisms to collect these plastic bottles. A number of plastic bottles you used have been collected by those companies, and these plastic bottles are being recycled into different products. So compared to this small cups and plastic plates and this kind of plastic polythene bag, thin polythene bag. The thin polythene bag, one bottle, collection of one bottle is very simple rather than collection of one bag. People at the same time, people use 100 number of polythene bags. Even we can observe in our house day to day, we use at least 10 polythene bags compared to one plastic bottles. So at the end of the day, the millions of plastic polythene bags are end up in the landfill and along with the mixed waste. That is the scenario that is happening in our country. This plastic polythene bags cannot be segregated along with the mixed waste. So the biodegradable waste cannot also be composted to get a useful product. All this mixed waste end up in the landfill. In order to combat this problem and to give proper solutions, our government of India has enacted separate rules and regulations to regulate the manufacturers of the plastics and the consumers of the plastics, and also the recyclers and the management. Also in the year 1990, is called as a plastic manufacture and usage rules. Before that year, we use plastic carry bags of small thin plastic carry bags, polythene bags, which is having around 10 micron. We can see when we go to temples, we go to the flower shop, we get flowers and a small carry bags. It's all are made with 20 microns, 10 microns, 30 microns level. So in order to cut short, prevent those type of plastic carry bags, this kind of rules and put stoppage to the carry bags like 50 microns. Carry bags more than 50 microns shall be put into operations and be produced and then used by the consumers in the year 2011. And also more responsibilities also put on the urban local bodies, corporations and municipalities, so that they have to go to the door to door. They have to make collection at the door to door level. Whatever the mechanism they should provide to the citizens of city and corporations and municipalities, even town panchayat, the local bodies should come forward to take all those steps to support the people, to give some mechanisms to the people to segregate those biodegradable, non-biodegradable waste, plastic waste, and to take all those plastic waste and to make use of those and dispose them in a scientific way. This, due to some constraints, these plastic rules have been upgraded in the year 2016, and it is called as a plastic waste management rules. And according to these rules, till 30th September of 2021, carry bag of more than 50 microns should be used. And in the year from the year 2021, from October 1st onwards, carry bags of 75 microns, more than 75 microns should be used. And even the small vendors, retailers, and street vendors who are all selling their material in the bags, in the plastic bags to the consumers, they have to get registered in the concerned corporation. For example, when a person is selling materials, a street vendor is selling materials in a plastic carry bag in Kovai Pudur or in Tibiulur or in Kaundambalayam or in Sakava Kalani and Kandipuram, they have to be registered with the concerned corporation with an amount of 48,000 rupees. After that registration only, they can start selling their commodities materials in the carry bags. That should also be more than 50 microns. From 1 onwards, now carry bag of 75 microns should be used. So in order to avoid the people, we get a thick. When we get a thick carry bag, we can reuse it for more number of times, and then we can think how to dispose it. So in order to have a phased manner of avoiding this plastic usage, government is making such rules. This carry bags made of virgin or recycled plastic less than 75 micron should be stopped. The 75 micron, more than 75 micron thickness of carry bags should be produced after October 1. And from next year onwards, carry bags should be, the thickness of the carry bag should be more than 120 microns. And this year, 1st October onwards, non-woven plastic carry bags should be more than 60 GSM, that is a gram square meter. And non-woven plastic carry bag is nothing but we all, during the corona period, we all use moss, which is also made up of non-woven material. This is called as a medical material, medical moss. That is the GSM is around 30 to 40 GSM. If it is a 2-layer, it will become 60 GSM. In corona patients ward, the bed sheets and the blankets, pillow covers are made up of non-woven plastic sheets, which are having 70 to 80 GSM material. So in order to avoid this kind of use of use and throw materials, this kind of restrictions have been made, and single-use putting number of single-use plastics items have been banned from the year 17 July 1st, 2022 onwards, like the earbuds, plastic sticks for balloons, and plastic flags, candy sticks, ice cream sticks, and polystyrene for decoration, thermocol, plates, cups, and forks, plastic glasses, spoons, and knives, which is used in the bakery stalls, and all will be banned from the July 2022 onward. This is why this breathing time is given to this, means people get so these are all made up from the small micro level business level, and people who get some loan arrangements from the government, they should have in order to save their livelihood also, this phased manner of banning on the single-use plastic has been released by the government. This plastic waste management, government has suggested the urban local bodies, they should take the plastic waste from the houses and from the community and segregate it and send to the plastic waste recycler. This plastic waste recycler should get license from the concerned state government and Tamil Nadu pollution government. Then this second one is the rules also encourage the payment of road construction. These are all on these plastics, all LDPE, HDPE, and all thick plastics also. But the one thing is the multi-layer pockets which cannot be recycled. These are packets which are used for the packing of biscuits and cereals and noodles, and all are sent to the cement kilns, which is used for incineration, as it is used as a fuel also. And the inert plastics which cannot be recycled or processing can be sent to the common hazardous disposal facility, which is established at Gummidipundi in Chennai, which is disposed in a scientific landfill disposal also. Government has placed so many rules and regulations, and local bodies also placing so much of infrastructures to collect and dispose the plastic waste. But as an individual, we should follow, our lifestyle should also change. The one question is, whatever the mechanism, whatever the infrastructure government has brought to us, our lifestyle, we should be, everyone should become a responsible citizen of our country. Before using any kind of plastic, we should rethink for buying. Before buying 4 to 5 items of plastic plates or cups, we should think whether it is necessary for us. Why should not I use the steel items? Why should not I use the banana item? Why should not I use the eco-friendly instead of using, because I'm aware about the plastic, single-use plastic, it is affecting my health. And when I use single-use plastic, it is also affecting adjoining environment. If some people burn it, and the same fire and smoke, or the same fire or smoke also coming back to my house, and my children and myself also will be suffered by this. So why should I buy the plastic carry bags? Why should I buy the straws, cups? What are the alternatives? Why should not I use the eco-friendly items? My lifestyle should be an eco-friendly ones. We should think before buying these things, and by following this kind of 4R or 5R, the refuse, reduce, reuse, and repurpose and rethink. 5 Rs. So refuse the plastic, one-time use of plastic carry bags, plastic straws, and plastic cups, etc. Reduce what you cannot refuse it, and reuse as many times as possible what you cannot use. For example, every year or per year, some people buy two number of cell phones, two number of tablets, and every year we buy more and more number of electronic watches, which also end up in the landfill, which is also brings a lot of hazardous, dangerous things to the health and environment. And repurpose the things that are used enough. At the very end, segregate our waste and send it for recycling to the sanitary workers who come and collect. How to segregate in each and every house and each and every shops and malls, offices and educational institutions. We should place, segregate all those waste in containers, wet waste, sanitary hazardous waste, electronic waste, and recyclable, maybe glass, paper, aluminium, and iron, and everything, every other recyclable dry waste can also be separately put in separate containers and sent to the corporation and municipal and concerned municipality, so that they will give it to the recyclers who are all getting license state government. At the end, we should say no to the plastic. Bring our own textile cloth bag when we go for shopping, when we go for a house, when we go to the office, when we go to the school, colleges. We can keep two number of cloth bags in our bag, three number of cloth bags in our bike, two number of cloth bags in our car. That will make our life very simple. In order to, instead of bringing plastic bottles, we can use steel bottles, steel plates, and steel tumblers. The corona period, pandemic situation has brought us so many lessons. When we cannot easily drink water or tea or any kind of coffee, tiffin outside from our house. So the problem is whether it will be infected, whether it's a plastic one, whether it is a chemical one. So in order to avoid those things, why don't we take our own tumbler, spoons, forks along with our bag? It's very simple. We are taking two number of cell phones in our bags, two number of tabs and charts. And why don't we take this kind of period to protect our health and say, when we say no to the single-use plastics, ultimately the manufacturer will also lose their hope to manufacture such kind of hazardous chemicals. So we can use a reusable cloth bag instead of plastic shopping bags, and reusable drinking container instead of plastic water bottles, and metal drinking straws or wooden straws or paper straws instead of plastic drinking straws, and metal utensils instead of plastic, and natural fabrics instead of synthetic fabrics, and metal razor instead of plastic. These are all one-time use, and pen is also getting accumulated because of more usage of pens and more usage of cell phones and covers. We can think twice before using it. Our Tamil Nadu government has announced plastic pollution-free Tamil Nadu and making so many efforts to ban such kind of single-use plastics. Our Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board is also notified some kind of 14 numbers of banned single-use plastic items, and also what are all the alternatives for the respective banned items. So for instead of using the plastic sheet and cling film used for food wrapping, we can use banana leaves and lotus leaves and aluminum foil. And instead of when you go to the hereafter, when you go to the restaurant, hotel, don't ask them if they put in the plastic plates. Ask them or give it in the banana leaf or give it in the steel plates. And when we conduct some festivals, functions in our houses or in educational institutions, we can encourage the use of eco-friendly items like areca plates and plates, areca net plates and metal plates and ceramic plates, and or kind of lotus and banana leaves also, and marriage functions and some other other functions. Instead of using plastic, we can use paper rolls, and Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board is making so much efforts to give our broad awareness to the people, to the married guys and all the industries, education institutions, and individual houses, and we create so many number of awareness programs to make people aware about the bad, worst thing, dangerous things, causes of single-use plastics and alternatives, and encourage them to use alternatives. Instead of plastic tumblers, we encourage them to use steel tumblers and glass tumblers also. People can ask questions. When I go to a tea shop or coffee shop, they are giving the tea or coffee or water in a paper cup. That's okay, madam. This is not the truth behind this. The paper tumbler is coated with a wax. This kind of wax is not a vegetable or a good wax, which is helpful to our health. But it is coated only chemical one, hazardous chemical one. So when the hot item is kept in this tumbler, it will also bring a lot of health problems to our health. So by mere telling of words, by mere speaking by the shopkeepers, don't accept the words of the shopkeepers, because ask the question. We think you can think. Ask a question where it is okay. The wax is vegetable wax is applied inside the tumbler, paper tumbler. Whether it is labeled in the bottle, whether it is labeled in the tumbler, don't, unless otherwise it is not labeled or marked in the tumblers, paper tumblers, don't even encourage to use it. Just refuse it, and instead of making so much efforts, we don't take our own tumblers with us to take such water, coffee or tea in this restaurants. And the main thing is that instead of using the thermocol cups, we can use We encourage the mud pots and mud containers, glass bottles and earthen pots also. And the main thing is the use and throw plastic carry bags, polythene carry bags of all size and thickness are banned. Instead, we can use cloth bags, eco-friendly jute bags. Jute bags can also be recycled some number of times. On cloth bag, we can when we buy two cloth bags, it will be very well. Our clothes are being we buy chudidars, we buy pants, we buy saris, and we keep that material for so long years until even 5 years saris, 10 years saris. We keep those things for years together. So the same also we buy very beautiful bags, small cloth bags and big larger cloth bags, soft bags, shopping bags are available in the market, and we encourage them to manufacture such eco-friendly products. We encourage them to we buy 2 or 3 bags and we keep it for our own use. We can slowly we can change the habit and lifestyle, bring the green lifestyle in our life by making our life into a greener one. And so, and making the planet Earth also a greener one. Our government has also notified a fine system for storing and supplying of the selling. Anybody who is storing and selling the all banned plastic items, that is notified in the previous days. The corporation people and corporation officers, pollution control board officer making surprise rates. When it is notified, the shopkeepers will be fined for the about 25,000 rupees for the first time. And when the shopkeepers in the malls, textile shop also be fined with the rupees 10,000. Even small vendors, they sell the materials along with the banned single-use plastic that is being shown in the previous slide. They are also being fined with minimum amount of 100 rupees. And Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, for the past 1 month, we are taking great initiatives to give large publications about the single-use plastics and banning of the plastic items. What are the banned single-use plastic items? These plastic items should not be manufactured in the industries. The Pollution Control Board is making so many steps to close down, shut down those industries who are all manufacturing single-use plastic illegal without getting any information, without getting any license. So to help the public in more way, public can give information on industry, because some illegal industries are functioning in the corners of the cities where people cannot access, where the officers cannot access. So public people or anybody who find out in any industry who are manufacturing use and throw plastics can give information in the website tnpcb.gov.in .php. They will be rewarded. All the details will be kept confidential. They can browse the website and they can find out in any district in Tamil Nadu. They can find out the email and contact number of the concerned district officers. Can also give information. Immediately the industry will be penalized. And now for the past one week we get more number of more number of informations from the public through the website, and more number of industries have been closed. Solutions to the plastic pollution is we can shop friendly and eco-friendly way of shopping, and we should get rid of the bottle water. We should not use plastic containers, and we should educate business and recycle everything. Because there are so many reasons to refuse single-use plastic. And the main reason is the plastics are made from fossil fuels, and the content ingredients are very toxic when we use it. At the same time, And the fossil fuel will not be a renewable one. The fossil fuel will be depleted, more consumption, more depletion, and huge carbon footprint is recovered when we use it. And it will be still there here in the earth for hundreds of thousands of years. And when we use millions, for example, 500 millions of carry bags is used in all over the country. Only tiny percentage, 1 to 10%, 1 to 5% have been recycled. So remaining material left on the ground, which brings problems to the land, soil, and agriculture, and everything. The soil, rainwater cannot leach into the ground, and it can be it will be very difficult to get groundwater for our drinking purpose. It will be difficult for the plants to grow to get the water, and so many chemicals are letting into the atmosphere when the plastic is burnt in open firing. It also leads the toxins into the food and drink when we keep all those things in the plastic box. It causes hormone disruptions and cancers also. It is finally the ozone. 72% of Earth is occupied by the ozones. So it's also polluting the aquatic ozone environment, and it kills marine animals and birds, and it also enter our food chain through the fishes, and also through the plants also. When the plastic is thrown on the land, the soil gets affected, the water gets affected. When it is in the soil, all the plants grown on the soil also get affected. When we end as vegetable or non-vegetable, non-veg, both kind of things enter into our body, it brings problems, health problems. This is a kind of a dung beetle project. It's a project called as dung beetle. It's developed by the Alliance and Earth, an organization which is helping the people to get awareness about the single-use plastics and various kind of plastic. They have also researched some kind of technology, using the technology. How can the single-use plastic can be converted into energy? There's a small prototype machine. They can be rolled on the streets. They can fit on the vehicle and taken to anywhere in the world. It's a prototype machinery based on the current license. They will also build